The first next-gen Forza game finally hit the market on the 5th if you spent $100, or on the 9th if you're a peasant like me and just waited for it to come to Game Pass. Its setting this time around is a fictional representation of Mexico, and it's seemingly a continuation of your character's journey from Horizon 4. If you were expecting any more story background than that, then you are in the wrong place, buddy. I'm gonna start this video out strong. I'm not a fan of racing games. I could count on one hand how many I've actively enjoyed over the years. The reason I preface with that is that when I say that Forza Horizon 5 is a must-buy for pretty much everybody, you'll know that I mean it. I'll be upfront and say that I didn't end up finishing the campaign before this video. I ended up putting in about 14 hours of gameplay. The campaign is pretty fucking long. It all really depends on how quickly you finish accolades and complete the main missions, but it's basically the same stuff, just racing. Speaking of which, as a racing game, it's really thrilling. The sense of speed is surprisingly palpable, which is a problem I have with most other games in the genre. Drifting and turning have a pretty hefty learning curve, which is what makes it all the more satisfying to pull it off. All the different terrains like sandy beaches, rocky mountains, wide open freeways, and tight city streets all require specific cars, which makes the humongous library of about 530-ish cars have a purpose. I haven't even mentioned the custom tuning and vinyls that makes each car more personable. I legit went out of my way to make every single car the waifu mobile, and I fucking love it. However, the game oftentimes feels more like an adventure rather than a serious racing game, which seems like the appeal of this entire spin-off series. As much as I can respect simulation games, I love dumb fun more than anything, and Horizon has boatloads of it. The optional rewind system alone is so fucking smart and just makes these games way easier to recommend to everybody. Most of the main missions are just set pieces from Fast and Furious, which I'm fine with. And despite playing both 3 and 4's intro before 5's release, the initial drive in this game still managed to wow me. I don't know how the fuck Playground Games and Turn 10 do it. It's so fucking good. Outside of the campaign, you'll be tackling a mound of side content scattered throughout this open world map that's twice as big as Horizon 4's. Don't worry, it's not like a Ubisoft game where it all feels mindless and makes you want to just skinny dip off the Hudson. Bitch! Each event has its own appeal, speed, style, some even require a bit of skill. Even better is that the side missions aren't just there to waste your time, they all have a purpose. Completing them unlocks accolades, accolades unlock main missions, and completing all this stuff levels you up, which unlocks skill points and spin wheels, which unlocks extra cars, clothes, and emotes. I know, it's a lot. My point is that you're not just going to be mindlessly driving from one side of the map to the other. Horizon 5 keeps the player motivated to do something new. Each time you think you've done everything in an area, something new is unlocked, and because of that, there's never really a dull moment in this game. I am the last person to ask about graphics since I value frame rate way more, but as a slightly intelligent man, I can recognize when something is pretty, and Horizon 5 is fucking beautiful. No matter what part of the map you're in, whether it be the jungle, the beach, the festival itself, it all looks beautiful. But the visuals are at their best when the new weather system is put to good use. I'm running this game at medium-high settings on hardware from 2014, and it still looks fucking amazing. I've even seen it running on lower end PCs as well as the original Xbox One, and let me tell you that the game looks good no matter what it runs on. I will say, however, that the game is not modest with how much power it needs. Yes, the game's optimized really well, but this is definitely a situation where if you do have extremely powerful hardware, it will use it to its fullest extent. Just keep that in mind. I love the accessibility options a lot. There were some that I'd never seen, like even slowing down the game in offline mode. Never seen that. I'm glad that that was included. And I really appreciate that the UI has been completely changed. 3 and 4's menus feel like a fucking massacre. Somehow I'm seeing everything and nothing at the same time. They stress me out into thinking that it's my fault, that I'm missing something. It's the epitome of why everybody hates mid-2010s Microsoft UIs. It's actual trash. So I'm glad 5 doesn't have those problems. The customization is still just preset characters, which bothers the hell out of me. Not to mention that there's a sizable amount of clothing items items and outfits that were just omitted from Horizon 5 for some reason. I get that I take customization way too seriously. It's just unfortunate that, with the amount of innovation and enhancements Turn 10 and Playground Games have made to this installment, that the customization is almost exactly the same as the other titles. Sure, there's more faces to choose from, and I do really appreciate what's new, like the prosthetics, hairstyles, hair colors, and pronouns. But I won't rest until I can make my own fucking character from the ground up in Horizon 6. I'm talking cyberpunk levels of change in the teeth. This is not negotiable. The game also takes forever to load every single time I boot it up. It's not as bad as Avengers on last gen consoles, but it's pretty close. And it's installed on my brand new Seagate hard drive, which may not be the fastest thing in the West, but if it runs like that on my newer hardware, then I can't imagine how it'd be on even older PCs and the original Xbox One. There's honestly not much else to say. If you think the next thing I'm going to ask is, should you play Horizon 5, then you haven't been paying attention. The answer's obviously yes, a million times yes. It has more than enough enjoyable content and breathtaking visuals to get your money's worth. If you really want to give the devs your money and want to support them, then yeah, you could pay the full $60, but if money's tight, then just play it on Game Pass. Your first month of Ultimate is only $1. So yeah, if you have a PC or an Xbox console, then there's no reason to not play Horizon 5, unless that reason is you only have an Xbox 360. In that case, why are you watching this video? What are you, a masochist? If you want to see me talk about more new releases and insult you a little bit more, then don't... Fuck my life. Then don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later, kids. Have a good night.
¿A dónde vamos?
Vamos a ver. Vamos, carnal. Ahí te hablan.
¿Qué?